Hello everyone, you're listening to Northern Flights, a Park Pro podcast keeping you up to date with the people, tournaments, and culture of disc golf in Canada and beyond. Consider becoming a Patreon today at patreon.com/parkpro. Find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Today's episode is brought to you by DiscGolfPark. And now your hosts, Andre, Jesse, and Matt.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 20 of the Northern Flights podcast. I'm Andre, here with Jesse.
Yeah, that's me.
And there's Matt.
Hey, who's that? Who invited this guy? More importantly, who got this guy a proper working microphone? I am so sorry that we had some, that I sounded like I was in a tin can last episode. So if you managed to struggle through that, thank you. Bless you. It'll never happen again.
That's right. Better make it so. On today's episode, we have the Rusty Rating recaps, previews, Blue Mountain Silver Series recap. The first major of the year is here. And then just a little Park Pro CDGT news. So, yeah. But first, how you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. Got to play the first 2-day tournament of the year last weekend, so hard to be doing bad.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's one of the ones we'll get to soon here. That's part of our Rusty Ratings recap. And yeah, Matt came down. We filmed it, which was great.
You did film it.
We did film it. So I guess that's the answer to Matt's question. How much disc golf have you been involved in the last little while? And we all know, but our listeners don't. So
I got around in today and I was still pretty sore. Turns out running around with a camera is about as much physical work as actually playing around. I was surprised. I was like, whew, I'm going to retire my way into media. And you get in more footsteps and you still have to contort your body into weird positions. So, which is good. I need the exercise. It's, it's as good, if not better than playing. So I will gladly take that. And I'm super looking forward to doing more of it this summer.
Yeah, and for our listeners that don't know, Matt has done a little bit of coverage in the past over on his other channel, sometimes media, I believe it is.
We don't even need to mention it. It's did.
Yeah, there you go. But I just wanted to, touch on this because it sounds like you've done, one round here and there, but you've never done sort of like 2 rounds in a day or 3 rounds in a weekend kind of thing. So.
Yeah. And the rounds that I did were fun, casual rounds. And I could just tell somebody not to throw yet if I wanted.
There you go. Yeah, no, it's definitely run and gun. So but it's a lot of fun. So, and like you said, we're staying in shape and yeah, it's great.
Yeah. As someone that got filmed, I got to say, you guys did a really great job.
Thank you.
You were never distracting, at least not to me or anybody else that I talked to. And you're always in position to catch most of the shots without anyone looking around wanting to wait for you. Not that you ever asked. Mm-hmm. I saw Andre sprint into the ends of fairways, getting catch cam position, and Matt doing the crazy guy shuffle to make sure he got the perfect angle of the throws. So
yeah, well, yeah, that's the whole thing is when you only have 2 cameramen, it's like, I kind of wanted to make sure we had at least a couple angles for most of the bigger putts, and then you don't have a lot of time to get down the fairway. So that being said, if you're interested in being a third cameraman at any of the events we're at, just hit us up because it definitely helps out a lot having a third person. We'll hopefully in the day or 2 leading up to these tournaments, we can help train you. So if you're interested, just reach out to us, info@parkedpro.com, and obviously follow us on Instagram, Twitter. We have a Twitter. Follow us on Twitter as well. So Park Pro on Twitter and Instagram, and then on Instagram at cdgt.ca. So,
yeah, and we will pay people to run camera for us. If you've ever said to somebody, "Man, I wish I could make some money at disc golf," this is your opportunity. And if you know somebody that maybe can't play, doesn't want to play, is there anyway, partners, things like that will be there. maybe it'll pay for your trip down and you can have a free tournament of disc golf.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be something. So yeah, please reach out to us. We have tournaments all across the country.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on the new disc golf news or anything?
Well, if we're going to talk about the Rocket Bear a little bit, I know we're not trying to spoil anything because it did get covered.
It did get covered.
And we want you to watch it and see all the excitement. I really enjoyed the Mission Hills course.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, much upgraded over last year, in my opinion. Much better use of the property in general, and some really, really fun shots. So much so that I think myself, Timon, and some others were saying that someone should talk to Mission Hills about maybe putting this bad boy in year-round for a fee or a different layout in a way that would coexist with the regular golf course.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree, and it's interesting. I mean, maybe some of our listeners, I don't know if they know, but last year Casey held this tournament, and the Mission Hills course, he was only allowed to use a portion of the course, and obviously it was successful. So they asked him to come back, or he asked to come back, and he was allowed to use a lot more of the property, and he expanded on the course quite a bit. It wasn't these smaller shots. And I think Casey put a lot of work into it, making sure that it was a little bit longer and a little more challenging. And it was kind of funny when we went over some of the our intros for the footage, and part of that is like listing off the total length of the course, and it was 6,990 feet. Or somewhere around there. It was not that much shorter than Wycliffe.
It was within 100 feet of the Wycliffe. I believe Wycliffe is actually 6969, which is why it's such a nice course. But the it was just over 6,900 feet for Mission Hills as well. So within about 69 feet.
But I think the nice thing about this tournament, and especially if you can keep having it at Mission, is that you have these are bigger courses, and one of them's on this open golf course, and the other one is, if you haven't played Wycliffe, it is challenging elevation wooded golf, and you have to go there because it's definitely one of the best courses in Canada, I'd say, let alone BC. So
yeah, I agree, and I like the variety in the same tournament. A lot of times you play 2 woods courses or 2 open courses, whatever. I got to throw what I think might be the first distance roller backhand in the East Kootenay, because we actually played on shortcut grass and you could actually do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have the roller experience of someone that plays disc golf in the East Kootenay, so they didn't work out great, but it was an absolute treat to be able to throw one out there on the course.
Yeah,
it's funny. I've thrown a bunch of rollers in the East Kootenays, but like you did it on purpose. So
yeah, okay, yes, that's what I mean, and not forehand rollers from a knee either.
Yeah,
I 100% agree. Casey did a really good job with the course, and it was pro level distance on a lot of the drives. Like, not just throw it 1,000 feet down a field in as few throws as you can, but like the shapes of the holes were 400, 450.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and again, we don't want to spoil it, but it made for some good disc golf. So there's some good disc golf being played out there. So
it was a very exciting finish, which we were not really we were sort of oblivious to the scores going in, and then all of a sudden things started feeling kind of tight around the tee box. I know, Andre, you sort of missed out on some of that. Sorry, but things you could sense the tension in the air, and then I was like, oh, maybe I should check scores, and then we had a look at the scores, and we're like, whoa,
yeah.
That's no wonder these guys are a little stressed out right now. So it was an exciting finish.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, I mean, is technically, quote unquote, just a C tier, but I think, having cameras there, us being there, I feel like elevated a little bit. At least it felt that way to myself as part of the camera crew. So, and I think
we had people from Alberta, British Columbia, and Montana on the card, so people traveled.
Totally. Yeah.
Well attended C tier.
Yeah. While we're on the Rusty Ratings Golden is this coming week, and there are still a few spots if you are interested in playing. I know there are a few people coming up from the Okanagan to play this one. And obviously from Cranbrook, I think I mentioned to the Montana guys, but I don't know if they'll come up. So, but they've hit a few of them now. So, the whole thing, the whole idea of it is that it's a point series. So the less events that you attend, the less likely you are to win your division. So, definitely worth it to attend as many as you can. And on that note, the finale, the Rusty Paddle is on the 29th off the top of my head. That one, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm actually going to be playing Golden and hopefully the Rusty Paddle. So that's the plan as it stands. And I got word from Matt over at DiscGolfPark. He said that he dropped off some rubber mats and that Mark, who is the owner of the course, he bought some decking material. So he's got a couple guys that are going to be installing the tee pads this week. And so that's just awesome to hear. Sounds like that course is going really well. And like we mentioned in previous podcasts, they are available to book for camping and for the lodging. So you can check that out. I believe it's the Columbia Wetlands. I'm going to look up their website.
Columbia Wetlands Outpost.
Columbia Wetlands Outpost. And you can book through their website at... Dot.
Get your pens ready.
Yeah.
ColumbiaWetlandsOutpost.com. I figured that was going to be it, but it definitely a cool spot. And it's funny because like my wife, her friend has a birthday party and they're actually going to this a week after the tournament. So hopefully, they can get out for some disc golf.
Yeah, I started looking around it and they've got I want to say it's a retired heli ski lodge that they helicopter lifted onto the property as the cabin accommodation.
Yes, that is true.
So it's like a 6-bedroom monster log cabin. And I just started thinking, I know a lot of dudes have gone and had disc golf bachelor parties and stuff like that recently. That would be a cool spot.
Totally.
Look out the big cabin, play the 27-hole loop, get in the views, maybe go for a hike. Don't get too hungover.
And canoes. I mean, it's not called the Wetlands Outpost for nothing. They got a lot of stuff that you can do on the water. So, very cool. Hey, it's funny because I was talking to Mark. I'm like, he's got a sailboat in his barn. I'm like, what? Where are you going sailing around? He's like, out on the Columbia. Yeah. So we go sailing out on the river. So, and out in the wetlands. So that's pretty sweet.
Actually, I want to see when they fire up that slip and slide. Have you seen that
thing?
Oh,
I haven't, but I'm excited for that. I'm definitely going there this summer.
It's right on the front of the property. You can see it from the highway.
Yeah.
I want to say this is like a 750-foot slip and slide. Yeah. It's like commercial vinyl just down the side of a mountain, essentially. I cannot imagine what this body does at terminal velocity, but I'm sure it would get there.
Yeah. 100%.
And now, is this just a disc golf tournament, Andre?
It is.
Are you just playing disc golf?
We are just playing disc golf, but we will also be having a wrap-up party as well. So, I call it the Rusty Wrap-Up, obviously, because it makes sense. And so Saturday night we'll be having, we'll have some beers by a fire and whatnot, and it's gonna be a blast. So just hang out, play disc golf, and he's got like a total of like 27 holes or something like that. So the 9 that aren't part of the course, they're kind of in this sort of lower elevation area, and they're a little bit shorter. So that's kind of like, I'm thinking the Rusty Wrap-Up, we'll probably go and play like a 1-disc round or something like
ace
that.
race style thing. I don't know how short it is. Maybe that's talking crazy, or glow.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. So
I haven't played glow in a long time.
Yeah. So very excited. Definitely worth checking out. I think we're almost at 20 people signed up for that. So, got to get those registration numbers up, and trust me, it'll be worth it. So get in there, sign up, and beat me at disc golf. Shouldn't be too hard.
Are you going to give away one Park Pro towel to a random choice of everybody that beats you?
Yes, 100%.
Is that what I hear?
I think that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Doesn't matter the division. If you beat me, you have a chance of winning a Park Pro towel.
Nice.
I need a new towel. I'm liking this.
All right. On to our next item in the news. We have the Innova Blue. Is it called the Blue Ridge recap? Or is that what it's called? I thought it was Blue Mountain.
I didn't watch this tournament, but
I
it could
didn't.
be. There's the Green Mountain Championships, and this could be the Blue Ridge something presented by Innova, powered by something else.
Yeah,
They're getting a little bit out there
it's-
with their names.
It's the Blue Ridge Championship at North Cove.
Yeah, I didn't think it was Blue
Yes.
Mountain.
There you go.
At North Cove, which is the course.
The course, yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, it was. I heard it was a little bit dramatic in the MPO side. Gannon Burr obviously taking it down on the MPO side, and with that, he actually moves to first in the UDisc World Rankings. So that's saying a lot for this young kid.
Absolutely. And he was a chase card winner again, right?
Yeah.
Am I talking crazy?
No,
Yeah.
he was a chase card winner again.
That's crazy. Half the tournament, half the DGPT has been won from the chase card this year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't know if I'm ready to put him first. I don't
Well,
think he's first
who
in my
else-
books.
Your
Who else-
number one has
who
been
else are you
injured
gonna
all
put-
year, so
put
nice
there?
try.
Who else are you going to put there for the? Well, besides Calvin.
Calvin Heimberg. He came in fourth, and it was
deserves
his worst finish of the year so far. How do you
Yeah.
not put that guy first in your world
Well,
rankings?
well, the whole thing with the UDisc rankings is it goes back to last year too, right? And obviously, there's Gannon got a lot of points for winning USDGC and their however they rank. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Calvin is the best player in the world still. Until Ricky can come back at full health, until, I don't know, Gannon wins a few more, until Kyle wins a few more, Calvin is the number one player in the world right now.
In your heart right now.
And in
was
my heart.
there was a name that we haven't seen on the top of the leaderboard for a little while, and that was Bradley Williams. Did pretty good. I think he finished second. So nice to see him. He's on my fantasy team, so it's nice to see him do
Speaking
okay.
of fantasy, what do we have? 6 MPO in play and 2 FPO, or more than that? 8 MPO.
We have 6. 5?
6
5,
MPO
6.
and 2 FPO.
Yeah. So when we started this tournament, I had 2 eligible FPO out of the 3 and 2 eligible MPO out of the 8 that I have.
That's crazy.
I am getting sick of these silver series. I had to drop good players, and I still didn't get my roster fully filled out. And then I look back, and Max was scooping my players behind my back. Oh man!
Oh, that's
Well, you were
I
you were
think
able
it's
to hold
kinda-
on to Linus, right? So at least you got that. I was like, I should have set a calendar reminder because I was like, I'm taking Linus the second this roster opens up.
Yeah.
Yep. I
Missed
took
it.
Linus, but before the tournament, I dropped Scott Withers for Robert Burridge. How does that make you feel, fantasy people? And
He
that was
played
me
good that
trying to
one
be
time.
clever. Well, what it was is he won the NCAA Div 1 disc golf at North Cove the year prior. So I thought he might have the motivation to get going there. And
Yeah.
of course, we had a win already, and so.
That year that he won, how many professional MPO players were there in the field again? Can you remind me?
Yeah, but you know what? There was 5 players around 1,000 rated, and he stomped them.
Yeah.
So, he's 10, 17 or something. Higher rated than some people that are on roster
He's a good
full
player.
time.
He's a good player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just needling you.
I know.
I think maybe next year we don't do the Silver Series events. It's too much of you're balancing between picking the best players and picking somebody that's really hungry for events.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it, right? Obviously, I mean, you look at Brett, who's in our league. He's been dominating the league, and then he finished 0-6 last week. So
Yeah. I was gonna say it frustrated me, but I like it. It stops me from having just a set and forget roster where I don't talk
you have
about it
to
or
be
look at it.
you have to be active, and you have to make those tough choices, right? Like, is it worth keeping this guy even if you're giving up that whatever 140th place or whatever it ends up being? So I don't know. I think it's kind of a leveler a little bit. Maybe next year we add maybe just one more bench spot or something like that, or we take away one of the starting ones so that we have the bench spot. I like I like the idea of having an active waiver wire in all my fantasy leagues: hockey, football, disc golf. So
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I know it's super fun.
Should we do a quick check-in for the people at home who are maybe tuned into our draft?
Well, let's take a look at the FPO first for Blue Ridge.
Oh, sorry, my apologies.
It's all good. Kristen Tatar takes the win. Sarah Hokum finishes second, and tied for third is Owen Scoggins and Hannah Hoon.
Hannah Heen. I've heard her
Heen?
name pronounced, and
I've
I've
heard Hune.
already forgotten. Hannah Hune. Sorry, Hannah. I know you're a big fan of the pod, so give us a call. Let us know. Send us a voice memo with the pronunciation of your name.
Yes.
We will read it on air.
But
She's been up
wow.
there. She's had her name on the leaderboard for sure.
Yeah,
Like
Team West Side, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Not that that matters.
yeah.
Oh, another Spokane.
Spokane, though. Yeah. Just over the border.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Kristen, wow, what a lead 9-stroke victory over Sarah Hokum before things tighten up.
Yeah. Speaking of, just going back to fantasy, guess who didn't start? Sarah Hokum this week.
Oh,
No.
Because I know you had this problem with your FPO and all your players, but I had all three of my FPO players were playing. So
I had to drop one of my FPO, and I got Emily Beach.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good player.
Actually, I say that, but one of them must have dropped out. I checked before the tournament, but it looks like they might have dropped out. So she probably counted.
Anyway, cool tournament.
Yeah.
And I like the look of that course. I think that's a course I'd enjoy playing. Some big open ones, the like cave looking hole with the basket in the rocks and stuff, and all the plays over the little creeks. I think it's super picturesque.
It's fun disc golf. You don't get a ton of that on the tour, especially, but like when you're on a disc golf trip or just a trip and you happen to have your discs with you, like that's the kind of course that you tell your friends about after you played.
Yeah, totally. I would. And it's always different. And we can talk about that a bit too, maybe. When your feet are on the ground and you're standing at the tee box versus what it looks like on video. I'm super excited to see what Wycliffe looks like on video. If those gaps look huge or if they look tiny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about that when we were filming. I was thinking, oh yeah, this is like
Everything always looks easier on camera, I find. Like when I'm
Yes.
watching a pro tournament, I'm like, man, I feel like I could get out there and do this. Like I know I don't throw as far, but the lines all look doable. And then you get out to one of those courses and you're like, oh my God.
yeah. Yeah. And then just touching on some of our Canadians in this Blue Ridge Championship. Max finishes tied for 65th. And Thomas Gilbert all the way down at 100, tied for 108th, which is unfortunate.
Yes. We've all had nightmare holes,
Oh,
but
yeah.
he had that hole 18 where it's a Mandy Landy. What did he got? He got an 11 on it in the first round.
I think round 1, he got an 11 on 18. And that might have just ended his tournament right there mentally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to be tin cupping at any time, but especially at the end of the first round.
It's nice to see him ended up getting a par on hole 18. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 18 in round 1, he got a 11.
Round 2, he got the par. And then round 3, he got triple. So,
Event average 968.
yeah, that's hard.
I might have tied him this weekend.
You came close.
Yeah, there you go. And then on the FPO side, I didn't see any names on there that are Canadian.
Oh, do we know why Kona Panis DNF or Kona Montgomery?
No, I did not. I'm not sure.
She has a injury. Let me bring it up. I believe it is similar to what Paige is going through right now.
Oh, yeah.
You guys can talk amongst yourselves, but that's a couple of big throwers in FPO now that are injured.
Yeah, which is, anytime you have a reduced field, it makes it tough, and especially if you're Kona having that happen right before the first major of the year, that's got to be tough, and especially for someone like her who's sort of having a little bit of a rebound year after last year. I mean, it's hard to not have a rebound year after last year,
Yeah.
but that's kind of tough, and I'm sure she was looking forward to doing well at the major. So.
She's
I'm
got
sure.
a brachial plexus hyperextension injury. So for all of you doctor types, hopefully that makes sense.
Well, there you go.
Overstretched chest, sort of.
Could be.
That's too bad. I was thinking maybe she made the not so difficult choice to drop out of the Silver Series to be prepared and able to play Champions Cup, but that's a lot of syllables for something to bounce back from in a week.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Yeah. But it is what it is. Interestingly,
Paige Pierce, on the other hand, has an injury and is playing Champions Cup and then taking time off to recover. So, I think we know who the world champion is between those two.
True. And then speaking of Champions Cup, we can preview it a little bit here. This past yesterday, we are recording on Tuesday night. So yesterday they had the Monday qualifiers for the Champions Cup for all the players that didn't get in, that were waitlisted. And I think, Matt, you had a pretty good breakdown of what happened to our boy Max before the pod. So let our listeners know.
Heartbreaking. So they had a play-in where the top 8 in MPO in this Monday qualifier would get into Champions Cup. And Max was at -3 at the end of his round, and it looked like the cut line was floating around -3, -4, depending on how a final card came in. Andrew Presnell was at -4, and he just had to par the final hole to rack up that 8th spot and go through. And he made a 20-foot putt on hole 18 to lock himself into the Champions Cup and lock Max, Garrett Gurthey, Ezra Aderhold all out. They all missed out by 1 stroke. And we almost got to see a play-in playoff between 4 people for the final spot, which would have been pretty cool. But then, heartbreak of all heartbreaks, Ricky Wysocki pulls out the next morning from Champions Cup. And if he had pulled out before the Monday qualifier, Max would have been in a playoff for the play-in.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, 1 stroke, game of inches.
Yeah. Sorry, Max. Sorry to hear it. We know you're listening, so our hearts go out to you. But we hope you have fun caddying for Jakob.
Yeah, check him out on coverage. He's going to be on. They're going to be on feature card. So if you follow
First name basis.
Fair enough.
I call him Kuba.
My boy Koob.
Kubi Koobs. If you check out the coverage, that's our boy Max. You know him and love him. So you're cheering on Yakub this week.
Yeah.
In his absence.
Yeah. What do you guys think about it? About the major? Like, what are you guys' feelings going into the weekend? Do you guys have a pick for who you think is going to win?
I'd like to see someone else win. I don't know. It's W.R. Jackson.
Yeah.
Which is maybe my top 3 favorite courses on tour to watch because it's more woodsy placement stuff. I know Macbeth last year had an attempt at one of the greatest comebacks in disc golf there.
Mm-hmm.
Almost, he did go 18 down, I believe, in his final round or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But he had one
good,
really ugly bad round in there, and it didn't quite get him back to the top. So I'd like to see the return of Macbeth because he honestly hasn't podiumed much. He's been getting 5th, 6th, and 10th and whatever. Honestly, Dickerson in the woods. I said I thought he was really good the other day, and people thought I was talking crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit of change up. I think Kyle Klein will do well. Maybe that's my pick.
Oh, come on.
I get to see I get to say 8 picks, but
that's my pick. Now I got to pick another pick. I think Kyle Klein's going to do it. I think he's got the lines and he's got the putting, and that's sort of what you need in these woodsy courses is you've got to hit good lines on good angles and you got to make 30, 35, 40-foot putts.
Yeah. Well,
he's super consistent.
And he's been playing really well this year. He's coming off that 3rd place finish at the last Silver Series. So I definitely could see that happening. I feel like you also got to mention Simon's name. I feel like this is kind of one of those tournaments that might be a make or break thing for him. Last year you saw him do really well in some tournaments and not do so well. So I think this is definitely one of those tournaments that, could suit his game, but all it takes is a couple blow up holes. So.
Absolutely. I think if Simon can stretch it out in some of these tighter fairways, he has a pretty big
Yeah.
advantage over guys that have to push it, because as soon as you start pushing it, you lose a little control and then game over.
Yeah. Here's the biggest question: is someone going to win from the chase card again?
Yeah, right? You know what? Drew Gibson's back. This is his first tournament back, I think.
There you go. Yeah.
I think he could do it on that course too, actually.
Yeah, he does well in those types of courses.
Touchy backhand stuff.
Yeah.
What about? It's not really his kind of course, but it's one of those guys that I think we haven't really talked too much about him. Is Eagle McMahon?
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see him do well at a tournament like this. But I mean,
He's definitely known for playing bigger courses. better.
exactly. Yeah.
I think he could do it if he can keep his mental game together. I think
Totally.
he gets easily frustrated, and when he has got a shot coming out of his hand that could be a 600-foot shot that gives him an eagle look, and he gets a kick after 350 feet, he's just defeated a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, if he can really clutch up and get it together, he could do it as well.
All right.
I believe he won the last major he played a full tournament in. Like, didn't he show up to Worlds and then he had to back out because of his injury? But wasn't
Yeah, it
the
was
last major he played
European.
the
European Open.
European Open? Or maybe it was USDGC that he backed out of because of injury. But
I don't remember.
he does tend to clutch up in the big tournaments.
Yeah.
So who are your
Interesting.
picks? I'm going out on a limb and saying Kyle Klein, the second highest rated player in the Pro Tour this year. So it's a big dark horse pick for me.
Yeah.
Who are you picking?
I had Kyle Klein first, but I'll take Drew for something fun then.
I mentioned Simon Lizotte. I think my pick is Simon Lizotte. I think he's playing too well this year. I think he's gonna do it. On the FPO side, who besides Kristen Tatar do you think
Who's
is
coming
gonna
in
win?
second?
Give me Haley King. I want to see something out of her, and I think she's been playing in her new home in North Carolina a lot, and it's a lot of the woods golf, just like that.
Yeah.
She could do it.
I got a little bit. Maybe this is a dark horse. I don't know. I think Rebecca Cox is gonna do pretty good.
She's played really well recently.
Yeah, that's why I think she's on a bit of a decent streak. You know, she's not always at the very, very top, but I think she'll do really well. And I think it'd be really cool to see her do well at this tournament. So
I'll go with Missy Gannon for our non-Kristen Tatar pick.
well, there you go.
She throws undertakers and thrashers up tunnels like nobody's business, and when she's on a putting heater, she's as good as Owen Scoggins and anybody else in the division.
That was going to be the other name I brought up as watch for Owen Scoggins as well. I feel like she's always kind of on the doorstep. So
I just have a lot of memories of this course being like touchy, hyzery kind of shapes when you're trying to get through and fade or flip up and do that. And
right,
Owen's not exactly known for her power backhand or backhand touch. So,
yeah,
but
No, she tends to like blast high-speed drivers, so she's always like there's always a big skipping finish to most of her drives, and she doesn't have that forehand with like a fairway driver or even a mid. And
exactly. The limited shot shapes that she has and the way that she gets distance with the big flexes, I don't think really suit the course.
yeah.
but
Yeah,
she
and
seems to be in contention everywhere they play. So
Yeah, exactly. And as for Canadians in this tournament, there is but one, Thomas Gilbert.
Tommy G.
Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, Max didn't make it in, and we haven't seen any Canadians making it on the FPO side. So that's just the way it goes. Hopefully, and that'll change in the next coming years because it'd be kind of cool to see more Canadians at these majors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know it's like usually a pretty hefty financial gain to be had if you do qualify. So,
Yeah.
worth the trip.
Yes. In other news, we teased it last week, but DiscGolfPark has re-upped. They will be sponsoring our next 8 episodes as well as this one. So DiscGolfPark, we thank you so much for your contributions. Matt's been with us from the start, and we're so excited to continue that relationship. So there it is. So with that, Disc Golf Park is a unique disc golf course concept developed in Finland in 2005. It is based on the idea of building sports facilities in an environmentally friendly way. Disc Golf Park provides great experiences for players of all skill levels, from beginners to professionals. Our main ideology is to introduce disc golf to new audiences. There are several options to suit any kind of course, and all official disc golf parks include professional and safe course design, Disc Golf Park Pro targets, tee pads and tee signs, and an info board to welcome players to your course. The Disc Golf Park World concept consists of multiple courses designed for different types of players. Multi-golf is a new fun activity for the whole family. In multi-golf, 3 forms of golf are played: foot golf, disc golf, and park-style pitch and putt. School Disc Golf Park offers students a new and exciting form of exercise for physical education classes. A course suitable for schools can be designed even in a small area, for instance, a schoolyard. Furthermore, the cost of school disc golf park are lower than those of regular disc golf parks. We also offer private and group lessons or clinics. For more information, check out the website at discgolfpark.com and request a quote today. I have a question for you guys. Have I been pronouncing ideology wrong this whole time? Is it ideology or ideology?
I always say ideology.
Okay. I feel like I heard someone pronounce it otherwise. And I was like,
this is going to be a British versus American versus whatever English
okay.
situation, and you're good.
Ideology.
Because you put on a British accent and say ideology.
Yeah, were you listening to a podcast about England?
No.
So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. Thanks for the affirmation. I'm happy to hear
Well,
that.
we're
I'm
supposed to be
pronouncing
speaking British English. We're in Canada, pal.
Oh, so it's wrong. So I've been saying it wrong.
Yeah, and you should be wrapping your sandwiches in aluminium foil and all
doing
sorts
it for
of stuff.
our American listeners. That's what I'm doing it for.
It's actually a funny thing because I spent a lot of time reading this type of stuff during my first bout of university.
Yeah.
The amount of stuff we should be doing in a British way that we are so American about is ridiculous. And
Yeah.
I don't have to tangent that hard on it. But I even had a teaching fellow who was a Canadian-born, refused to speak American-style English. And we asked if we needed to go to human resources and like all sorts of crazy pronunciations.
Really?
Just dead staring at you. Some kids going, "What is this man saying?" Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, tangent over.
Cool.
For people that invented the language, they do have an odd pronunciation of squirrel, though. Just saying. Just saying. I'm just going to put that out there.
Wait, how do they say squirrel?
Squirrel.
You just put on a British accent and said squirrel, dude.
Squirrel. SQURRO. Squirrel. That's not English. What do they know about the language? We don't have to take their word for anything.
Yeah.
But although I wouldn't mind weighing like double digits of something again, that would be all right.
Oh,
Like
stone?
if I could set my scale in the bathroom to stones, I wouldn't be too sad.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm 28 still. Great. Looks like I don't care about that cake I had last night.
Yeah.
No change in my stone weight.
Nice. All right. This is going to be another short episode for you guys, but we do have a little bit of news to update. First, if you haven't checked it out, head over to our YouTube channel. We have the Crush mini documentary is out. So we're very happy to have released that one.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
No, honestly, the footage was so crisp. It was beautifully shot and arranged. I was not trying to put you down on the other stuff, but this was like, holy shit.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff that we'd like to do. So we love doing that kind of. We're not just coverage only. So hopefully we can get some more of that stuff kind of in our bag. So
yeah, it told a great story of how the event was being done, raised awareness for the new event in Kamloops, and did so really beautifully. I was beyond impressed.
Yeah. And I mean, on that note, if you are a lady and you're interested in signing up for an awesome event, head over to Disc Golf Scene and look for the Crush in Kamloops. That's going to be an awesome tournament. It's a B tier. We'll have coverage of that one if we get enough FPO players involved to make it worth it. And if not, well, then we'll probably just do something similar for this one. So we'd love to be involved with that. I am technically an assistant director for that, but I'm trying to, leave that to Christy and carry most of the organizing to them. So if they need a little input on anything, then I'm more than happy to help out. But
it's the perfect event for, like, if you know somebody that's played a bunch of casual rounds or maybe even played like a women's league during COVID or something like that, and has always said, I'm not a tournament player, I'm not going to dedicate a whole weekend to it. This is the perfect event to get the tournament atmosphere and the fun of a competitive tournament, but in a environment that is not a total sausage fest, to put it plainly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure all three of us are well aware of how different it can be for women playing in the sport. We all have, Jesse and I have wives, and mine doesn't play with anybody. So, she'll come for a casual round with just myself. But, part of the reason is that, she doesn't want to, go out with a bunch of middle-aged white dudes. So this is what's great for them. So, and hopefully it, as a middle-aged white dude, you can encourage your wife to come out.
And by and large, women's
any other way.
Women's disc golf is like one of the most supportive competitive sports I've run across. It's not like a bunch of people, going after each other in a cutthroat way. It is just fun and supportive, and you get to test yourself in a way where there's really no downside if it doesn't go well. That's the dream.
I think one of the coolest things is that they've already had some people volunteer. Guys are willing to volunteer as spotters and help out with the tournament. So that being said, if you want to help out as well and your wife wants to play, then that's, it's a good outing. And Kamloops a great spot to be in August. So it's a hot spot, but it's a great spot.
Yes, absolutely. Get out there, go play, have fun.
The other thing we released on our YouTube channel is the coverage from round 3 of the Foxwood Open. So we talked about it on the last podcast, made it available to patrons, and then on the weekend we released it to the public. Definitely worth going checking out. That one was great. And if you haven't, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell, and all that other fun stuff. And if you like our videos, like them.
And if you want to comment on them, comment.
Exactly. Goes a long way. In all the algorithms.
Subscribe.
And if you want to dance, you can dance, but only if you want to, and you can leave your friends behind.
I didn't know you got classic Ontario commentary on that one.
Oh yeah,
my boy Julian.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're a hoot. And I got a little thing for the people that have listened this far. Check out Oz's Step Putt on hole 5. Tell me what you think.
Let us know.
Not saying, just saying.
Yeah.
They didn't mention it in commentary. I didn't, look, when we were editing it, we had a choice between 2 shots because it was 2 camera coverage. One of them was less flattering than the one we chose.
Oh, yeah. And the one you chose wasn't that flattering to start with.
Yeah.
But hey, that's the dangers of having a step putt like that.
Yeah.
He's awful good at it, but the odd time, I guess he gets that front foot down a little early.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's
we love you, Oz.
Yeah. And that's how people practice. They practice that step putt and the timing of it. It's something that I haven't quite figured out. There's been times when I'm stepping through and thinking to myself, did I leave too early there? So
that's a very precise thing. And I got to say, he's on a little bit of a hill. I can imagine as soon as you're not on flat ground, your rhythm is really hard to track.
Yeah.
I don't get. Here's a good one. Let us know in the comments. Do you step putt? Do you find it easier? Do you do it just because you saw it on television? Why did you choose to step putt? Because for me, I don't want to add more coordination to what is already a very difficult game for me.
Yeah. I will say my step putt is more of just a bigger follow through, I guess. It's kind of one of those things where it's like I just put a little more effort into the putt and then I'm not worried about stepping forward afterwards. That's kind of the way I view it. But
So I had some success practicing a step putt, and for me, what it was is if I can get all my momentum heading towards the basket, that's kind of taking some of the side to side variance out of me standing still and getting lined up out of it. If I know that all of my weight is transferring dead at the basket, all I have to do is make sure I get that disc in the air and online.
mm-hmm.
But I also have no rhythm, so I don't do that.
Well, there you go. Find out on coverage of the Rocket Bear.
Yeah.
Jesse is on first round coverage. So, all right. And the other big news from Park Pro and the CDGT, as Matt has a silly face. If you're on our YouTube, you might have noticed a little blip there. We had a little pause, kind of getting used to the system. So it's nice to put these little pauses in. We don't have to do as much editing afterwards. But yeah, so without further ado, we will jump ahead to stop 8 of 9 in our Canadian Disc Golf Tour. And the reason we are jumping ahead is because of some crossing I's and dotting T's. But that's how it goes. And stop 8 is the Gold Eagle Open in Saskatchewan.
What?
Yeah, it's an A tier this year. So really looking forward. I played that course. It's awesome. It's a great course.
Is that the reason to go to Saskatchewan? Has it finally come? Am I getting in the car?
That is the reason.
The reason. Yeah.
The course, the tournament, after the tournament, hanging out, fireworks, music, fun. Yeah. It is. Everybody comes back from that tournament raving about what a fun time it is. I have never heard a single bad review, and people go out of their way to tell me what a good time it is out there.
I've kind of heard similar, actually. Some friends have played it driving by just to kind of make their trip work, thinking it was a little patch over, and said it was the highlight of the trip.
Yeah. And so that event is happening on September 9th and 10th that's at Jackfish Lake near Cochin, Saskatchewan.
Ideology.
Yeah, Ideology. There you go. And online registration opens up June 8th at 8 o'clock Mountain Time on Disc Golf Scene. So head over there, click that follow button on that tournament because you're going to want to get to that one. All right, our final Park Pro / CDGT update is it's gone. For those who haven't seen Jesse, the mustache is gone.
The mustache is gone. That was for the audio listeners. That would have been pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
When you said new CDGT update, it's gone.
Yes, it is gone.
We quit.
Yeah.
Jesse, we didn't get to 15 patrons quite on time. And Jesse made the appropriate decision as a man with a partner to keep happy.
Yes. Yep. You guys had a nice dinner the other evening and yeah.
It was Caitlin's only wish that I remove my facial hair. So I checked in with the patron count and
didn't quite get there. All right.
Also, looking at myself in the camera, I have de-aged 10 years. I am 17 again.
Yeah.
Wow.
You look great. Not that you look bad with the mustache.
Yeah.
But you look great.
I just look shiny. Wow.
Oh, and I was going to say, it's almost too bad because I feel like mustaches kind of were a trend on our coverage because there was a couple guys that had mustaches.
Yeah, Timon shaved in his mustache as well. We were calling each other the Muzzy Buddies during our round. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was one other one, but you'll have to watch coverage to find out who.
Yeah, never mind. No spoilers.
Yeah.
All right. And do we want to do a quick little fantasy update for those that are keeping track of our teams? Not that. Yeah.
Heck yeah. I will also say for the Western Canadian people, another tournament whose registration is coming up on April 21st in the evening is the River City Cup presented by BR Disc Golf in Edmonton. It is a B tier this year. It will be, I believe, at Rundle Park and Hermitage Park again this year. General registration opens on April 21st. As of the release of this podcast, there will still be another couple of days of whole sponsor spots if there are any left, and a lot of them filled up, so there might not even be any left. But check out registration on Disc Golf Scene for the River City Cup. It's a good time. It's in my hometown. I'll be there. Maybe Andre will be there. You never know.
I will be there as well.
Well, how about that?
We may or may not have cameras in our hand.
Yeah, I mean, we just
We
carry
may or may
cameras
not
around.
hit the record button.
Maybe I'll be playing, though. You never know.
Yeah, who knows?
With a camera in my hand. Maybe I'll be doing like man on the street,
Double
but
duty.
during a tournament. Yeah. That'd be fun, hey? Like a POV tournament coverage.
Yeah, a coverage is just
GoPro
Matt
on your
playing.
head.
Matt with a GoPro. Just like nothing but sweating and panting and swearing. I don't think that's the kind of coverage people are looking for. But hey, subscribe, sign up to the Patreon, and maybe we'll make it happen. If we get to 25 patrons by July 1st, I will wear a GoPro for one of the rounds. No, I won't. I'm not signing up for that. I want to do the filming.
But he will wear a GoPro for a random round.
Ooh,
Yeah,
get volunteered.
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
That actually would be super fun. Let's do that. Maybe we'll do that for the patrons.
A GoPro round.
Can you imagine the screen shake blur on an actual throw?
Yeah, we got to try it.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Andre, you got a GoPro, right?
I have a GoPro. I have a head mount. I have a chest mount. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Oh, if you could get the chest mount and see the disc hitting the power pocket and coming out
You mean
like that?
seeing the disc hitting the GoPro because it's right in the power pocket?
Okay, yeah, that too. That too.
Yeah. I will say, going back to my ultimate background, I wore a GoPro for an ultimate, just a little, small tournament, and wore it for a couple points. And it's actually, the footage from it was pretty cool. So when you have this disc coming in at you, and I don't know, it's pretty awesome. So imagine disc golf would be interesting. I don't know how interesting, but it would be interesting.
So to make up for the whole mustache fiasco, Jesse will wear a GoPro on his head for a round of golf at some point.
Yeah.
Cool. His microphone was off when he committed to it, but you have to trust us. He said it out
I don't
loud.
know about that.
All right. So anyway, here we're going to do a fantasy check-in here. So in the lead going into our first major, Brett Wells has been absolutely thrashing us. He has Paul Macbeth, Adam Hammis, Aaron Gossage, James Proctor, Paige Pierce, and Hannah Blomroos as the stars of his team, and they are all showing up big time for him. So,
Oh God, there. Yeah, James Proctor.
James Proctor, probably the pick of the draft so far.
Totally, what a great draft.
Yeah, 5th in DGPT standings right now, James Proctor. We didn't predict that. I think probably we thought he was going to have a good year committing full time, but he's lighting it up. 2nd place right now is Max. He has Kyle Klein getting him a bunch of points. He's got, let's see, Matty O, always a good pick. Ezra Aderhold, who's having a very good year so far.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's got Katrina Allen, Katie Tati, and Maria Oliva on his FPO squad. And usually 2 of those players are showing up pretty decently well. So,
Yeah, Ezra's having maybe his best year ever. Actually.
100% for sure. It's kind of, I don't want to say a breakout year, but it's kind of like a breakout year.
Yeah,
for him, so
digging his heels in the top 10.
yeah. Some guy named Jesse is in 3rd place. Gannon Burr, probably the best pick you could have made, and you made it, and he's just there. I'm not going to go back in time and remember who you picked and when, but you've still got a pretty strong team, even though you've been flipping people around.
Yeah.
And you've got Owen Scoggins and Haley King on your starting squad on the FPO side. I'm a little jealous.
Haley didn't play
That's
as well
good
as I expected, to be honest with you. So I've shuffled out that 3rd FPO slot a lot to try and cater it to a specific event.
yeah.
I'll trade you compromised Val Mondahano for your Haley King. What do you say? Yes or no?
Continue with reading other people's stuff off because I ain't never taken that trade. Get out of here.
Brad is in 4th place. Greg is in 5th place. Andre is in 6th place. Tied with me in 6th place. Yeah. Rap horns all day, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, big news. Brett Wells is absolutely running our show so far, but
Totally.
still a lot of disc golf left to be played.
Definitely a lot. I ain't giving up.
Yeah, I'm confident too.
Gonna be a bounce back second. Well, not even half. We're not even halfway through the season. So,
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, I don't have too much else going on. I don't know about you guys.
I'm a hungry hippo, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna go home and eat just about everything in the house.
So thank you to DiscGolfPark again for sponsoring this episode and all of our episodes. And thank you to our patrons. Really appreciate you guys. It goes a long way. Got a lot of mics, as you can see. Matt also has a new mic. And part of our patrons, funds from our patrons goes to stuff like that and goes towards funding some cameramen, training of camera people so we can produce better quality content for the YouTube channel and for Canadian disc golfers. So thank you so
Camera
much.
operators. Let's say camera operators, because
Camera operators.
if you've got a woman that wants to run camera for us, we will gladly hire anybody that's down to film for us. So
So true.
spread the word.
Awesome. Matt, take us out.
All right. From all of us here at Park Pro, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least plagiarize catchphrases.